Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of Half Nelson. I'm your host, Daniel, and this week we're talking all things Raw. Now, this episode might as well have been called Monday Night Extreme, because that seemed to be the word on everybody's lips. Every match seemed to be a setup to Extreme Rules, elaboration onto what might happen at Extreme Rules. Is this the storyline that we're going to use for Extreme Rules? Who's going to be in Extreme Rules? Are the rules too extreme? Are they not extreme enough? What does it all mean? Well, you know what? Screw it. Let's break it down match by match and find out if this week's episode was dope, dookie, or extreme! So the first match is Jeff Hardy versus Sheamus, and it was alright. I was expecting some tag team action, especially from the tag team turmoil last week, but we had a singles match. It was a good singles match. Both competitors brought a lot of energy, and an okay match was given a good finish from a twist of fate to Swanton Bomb combo. Classy stuff. Great opener. The next match, we've got Sasha Banks versus Alicia Fox. Now, last week I gave this match a lot of shit for being kind of lame and out of nowhere, but you know what? They stepped it up this week. So it's pretty sweet. Sasha Banks and Alicia Fox gave everything they had. Alicia Fox really showed off a lot of her intensity in this match. We got a better grasp on the love triangle. Love goalpost. Alicia Fox basically kept yelling, "That's my man! You can't take him!" And she just delivered a great finishing blow that actually made me kind of jump and go, ooh. I like how this developed. I like that this wasn't taking center stage. It was placed just right in the beginning of the show, so it's a sweet. But that brings us to one of our most publicized events of the night, Dean Ambrose versus The Miz for the Intercontinental Championship. And you know when you put two guys like this together, it's gonna be dope. The Miz and Ambrose, again, matched each other well. Ambrose particularly gave a lunatic performance like I've rarely seen from him. Flipping himself off the rope, launching himself at The Miz, sticking out the tongue, and looking like a sort of a drunken master kung fu style. It was a lot of fun, and especially the ending when The Miz was gonna go for the low blow, but Ambrose caught him and returned with an actual low blow of his own. It raised the stakes. It didn't feel cheap that Ambrose kept the title by a DQ, and so when you carry this storyline to Extreme Rules, you know you're going to get an even better, more fun match. After that, we go to a tag team match between Gentleman Jack Gallaher and Aries versus Neville and TJP, and this was aight. The Cruiserweight storyline isn't the greatest storyline in the world. I'm not a big fan of Neville being TJP's reluctant mentor, and TJP's just like, "Can I get a fight now? Look, I beat it, Daddy. Can I get a fight now?" I kind of feel bad for what they did to Jack Gallaher. He's got a good character, and I think he's kind of fun with the umbrella and the mustache. But if WWE had given him a bit of a juicier role to bite off, maybe do an actual team-up with Aries instead of one of convenience, it would have worked out a little bit better. But as is, it's still a pretty good match. Fifth match of the night, let's take a little break and talk about the Fatal 5-Way. Kurt Angle came out and updated us on the Braun Strowman situation. Braun Strowman's elbow being busted tells us that he's probably going to be out for up to 6 months. Now the big issue is, who's going to face Brock Lesnar for the Universal Championship? Well, Kurt Angle decided it was going to be a Fatal 5-Way at Extreme Rules, and your usual suspects are here. Seth Rollins, Bray Wyatt, Samoa Joe, Finn Balor, and Roman Reigns. Everyone came out, duked it out for a little bit. Then Kurt Angle decided that 4 out of the 5 men were going to have matches tonight. The first one being Finn Balor versus Roman Reigns. Match was dope. If you look at Finn Balor and Roman Reigns, you don't think Finn Balor stands a lot of a chance, but don't underestimate the man. He's fast, he's smart, and he's sneaky. And so he brought that intensity, that desire to gain his Universal title back into this match last night. It was a fantastic back and forth, both men delivering great hits, some really close near falls. And you know what? Even though Roman Reigns stepped out with the win, I think the Fatal 5-Way and the Universal Championship is gonna go in Balor's favor. The two favorites in this fight seem to be Finn Balor and Roman Reigns. Now, Roman Reigns is kind of obvious. He's got the notoriety, he's got the physical strength to go up against Brock Lesnar, and with all that, seems like a good matchup. But for a more complex storyline, think about this. Finn Balor, the man who had the Universal Championship stripped it all away. He's on his road to recovery. That week you saw in his episode of 24 how he broke his shoulder and how he was struggling and how he rediscovered himself and found himself. And now he's in a position where he can go back to his former glory. If the Universal Championship is going to be decided by two big men duking it out, that's okay, but I'm not as involved because Brock Lesnar defending a championship is as rare as a four-leaf clover. You could say he's the Thanos of the WWE Universe. Now, if you put Finn Balor in there and his baggage, suddenly that investment becomes stronger and the desire to see Balor take the title away and come back to his former glory is something to really be happy about. And I'm hoping that WWE pushes that storyline, which is why I was kind of upset that even though the match was dope, it should have been the main event, not one of, as they said last night, two main events. Next match, we've got Big Cass versus Titus ONeil, and this one was pretty sweet. Enzo and Cass did their thing in Enzo's home state of New Jersey, but then Titus ONeil and Apollo Crews came out, openly mocking Enzo and Cass's delivery. Titus ONeil was talking mad shit. I guess under the impression that Apollo and Enzo were supposed to fight that night, but no. In a $4,300 suit, Titus ONeil went out, fought against Cass, got his ass kicked, looked like a fool. It was a good little match to wind down the night before the main event. Seth Rollins versus Bray Wyatt. Now, Bray Wyatt, I've said before, has felt kind of like a puppet in Raw. WWE doesn't really know what to do with him. And thankfully, Bray Wyatt gives his best performance in a long time. Bray Wyatt delivering some massive haymakers, really putting Seth Rollins on the edge of his seat. Seth Rollins came back with a lot of great hits too. And then when Samoa Joe came in and interrupted the whole thing, we got to see my favorite feud continue. Even though Seth Rollins won the match by DQ, the real victor here was Bray Wyatt. Because while Bray Wyatt and Samoa Joe you think are going to form an alliance, nope! Sister Abigail to Samoa Joe, Sister Abigail to Seth Rollins, and with that mischievous grin that I love, Bray Wyatt finally said, "Look, Raw, I'm here to stay, and I'm doing what's right for me, and nobody else." So given the matches, you would think that last night's episode of Raw was sweet. But there was something about the promos and the order of the show that kind of rubbed me the wrong way. The Alexa Bliss-Bayley feud is nice when neither Alexa Bliss nor Bayley are talking. The dialogue they had wasn't great. They're not great performers with talking. But whenever you do see Alexa Bliss beat Bayley over the head with a kendo stick and you see Bayley writhing on the ground in pain, and Alexa Bliss just kind of sneering at her as the mean girl she is, it works out well. So that's kind of a hit or miss. Golden Truth's breakup was something like out of Mice and Men. Seeing R-Truth's face, just like the what? It was like, at 2 Goldust, or tell me about the rabbits, Goldust. It took a team that was kind of okay or kind of mediocre to something that's like, oh, I might want to pay attention for this. I don't know where this is gonna go. Raw was There's a lot of good stuff here, but it didn't carry the punch of last week. The storylines weren't as involved as they could have been. I think there could have been a better arrangement of the show to make it a better package. But that doesn't mean that this episode was bad in any slightest. We still had some fun matches. I'm excited for Dean Ambrose versus The Miz. I'm excited for Finn versus Roman in this maybe mini feud that could continue towards Extreme Rules. Maybe, kind of. And I'm also excited to see what Bray Wyatt's going to be able to do leading up to Extreme Rules. So if you made it to the end, thank you very much for watching. If you like this video, click the like button. The subscribe button is right next to it if you want to be the first to find out when new episodes of this show are coming out. HalfKocked has Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Hit us up. Links down below. The next episode is not going to be led by me. It's going to be led by my friend Barnyard, and he's going to cover all the juicy secrets that are revealed tonight on SmackDown. So keep an eye out tomorrow for that episode, but until then, thank you all again very, very much for watching, and take care.
I'm the HalfKocked personality. The HalfKocked personality.
He's got the notoriety. He's got the strength to take someone. Can you please go to the other side? Because I'm recording, friend.